one of the things that I cannot stress enough, and this is not to you, this is to everybody. It's to everybody who is here and everybody who is not here. My office started to receive phone calls from parents. And some of those phone calls were, how come you haven't sent out a Connect Ed message? Or how come you haven't notified parents? And respectfully, one of the things that we believe firmly is that we need to take care of our kids first, and we need to take care of the situation first. And what happens oftentimes is that we're diverted from doing that because we're answering phones and answering questions of parents because the kids have texted their parents. And I have kids, I know why that happens. But when you have a small number of people who are trying to deal with an incident and you're kind of bombarded by these, what really at that moment are distractions, important distractions, but nevertheless distractions, it takes you longer to deal with the things you need to deal with. When we were able to send a Connect Ed message out to parents, we sent the Connect Ed message out to parents. We took messages from parents, we called them back as soon as we had the time to call them back. But one of the things that, if you go to any of these the kind of incident workshops, or you try and, I was at one with the State Comptroller's Office, and one of the things they try and emphasize, we know parents are worried, and we know parents are getting information, sometimes correct information, sometimes incorrect information, but in the event of, God forbid, a real tragedy, we need to focus on kids, and we need to focus on the situation. And many times we're being asked to go in so many different directions that where the real important work is happening, all of our attention is not focused on that. So kind of a long-winded answer to your question, but I do appreciate the feedback. I believe that there are things that were handled correctly and there were things that could have been handled better. And we have had the first post-review, we will have a second post-review, and better procedures will be put into place.
Just from like a student's perspective, sorry, I feel like this is like going longer than it should, but like you were saying with like the Connect Ed messages and like how sometimes that hinders from like getting stuff done. I feel like I understand that you don't want to do it in bits and pieces, like giving out information that you know can be changed later, and you want to give out like everything all at once. But from the student's perspective, and I'm saying this from my parents' perspective, I feel like parents would be better off knowing it little by little, even if the story does change throughout the way. Like at least they're like calm, they know like what's happening up to date. Like you don't have to be on the phone like every 5 minutes saying, oh, this is what's happening now, this is what's happening now. Like, every once in a while filling them in, oh, there's a smell, we don't know what it is, we're just checking. Even in the terms of like people calling, trying to figure out what happened. Like I have siblings in school, all of us hear something different, my parents are getting back to school. It's like giving out like little bits and pieces of information helps in that like not a million parents are gonna call, oh, there's a bomb threat, there's this, like
Well, we heard that too.
yeah, there's like random stories all over the place. Like that helps eliminate that fact along with communism. So that would be nice if we got like little, as you get the story, even if it's like a little later than you are, we would like to get bits and pieces instead of waiting until the end of the day and being like, oh, it makes sense now what happened.
Okay, thanks for your feedback.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Comments? Mr. Doyle slowly walking over to the microphone, getting ready to address the crowd.
Yes, I wish to address the board. Joel, it was a power trip for you, so President Press. Two items. One is just general section following up on the young woman's comment. I do want to address the board, the administration, and anybody who's involved in the hiring process, because I was pretty much kept up to date between the teachers and parents and all the news stories and so on. And I'm going to tell you firsthand, as a father of 4, who 3 have graduated from high school, so now this is my 11th year in high school, there has not been a presence, visual, physical, vocal, as it is now. Nothing but positive input. Yes, things could always be better, but My response was, and? What's the issue? So I just think it's a very, very good sign, very good decision. And I just think it's very nice that, again, Bolin has actually picked a very good administrator, someone to lead the building, especially at that level. So again, kudos to you. The second note is more of a general question, and it's, I'm actually now involved, I'm on the board of directors of PAL. And the meeting we just had on Monday, the question came up again about lack of facilities, lack of ability for gyms in school. The basketball program, for example, is over, I believe the last count we had is over 400 kids in the basketball program. And we do not have the facilities to practice, let alone have games. So one of the things that I'm not sure exactly, I'm not going to speak, or I don't want to make any guesses, but Bob Buscio, who's the main contact of the PAL, said he'd reach out to the board. Now, I'm not saying you need to get back to him, I'm not questioning that, I'm asking my own personal self, is that if there are issues there, we can kind of look to correct them to some degree. Because it's kind of tough, like for example, I have practice here tomorrow night, and there'll be 4 teams here tomorrow night in this small gym, we have to take half the gym. Half is better than nothing. But for example, Plaza, I believe, only has 1 night a week that's allowed the PAL use. Why that is, I couldn't tell you. I'm not going to speculate or question it. Or asking the question yet not questioning it. There has to be a reason. The other schools have the same issue. So I just wanted to bring it as a general question that whoever he reached out to, and if you want to use me as your focal point, I'll be glad to reach that, start that conversation and see if maybe we can have more availability. So our kids in Bowling will have access to the gym, not only for one sport, specifically basketball, but the other about 10 to 12 sports that PAL still offers. And for those parents who are not aware of it, it is a very cost-wise, cost-effective, time efficient, and it's a great start for kids who are not gifted athletically to have the ability to get some general coaching and time out. Because we all know how it is, especially when your parents, your kids won't listen to you, but they will listen to somebody else. And they're like, wait, yeah, my parents told me that too. So I just like to give the kids the opportunity, if possible, to maybe have access to more gyms.
Okay, thank you,
I'm
Mr.
like,
Doyle.
"Oh, time, Trish."
Yeah, yeah.
Good son.
Put up a sign, okay? I was too wise. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Doyle. All right.
She had a question, that young woman.
Somebody's got a question. If you have a question, please step up to the podium. Oh, there we go.
Joel, can you just go to write your name down?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Can you just write your name? I think, is there a place to write your name down up there? Okay.
What was your name, sir?
My name is Joe Doyle.
Okay, in regards to, you talking about like the dress code and stuff, I know, sorry.
Yeah, if you have questions or comments, we don't do the crosstalk. If you want to address something to me.
In regards to the dress code, I know that a lot of parents were not annoyed, for the lack of a better word, but they weren't annoyed with that because it was something long overdue. I moved here in my junior year, so I had 1 year with Ms. Morris and 1 year with Bahagola, so I do see the difference. Ms. Morris was not extremely present for a principal, and I do agree that there was a shift in things, but I feel that, again, from a student's perspective, it was such a dramatic shift that we weren't ready for it. So in terms of the dress code, yes, that was something that needed to be enforced. There were students coming in inappropriately dressed, but there are certain things that didn't correlate with the dress code that were being pointed out. Like, there were students who had dyed hair and were told that's unprofessional and not something that we could go to school with. That's not in correlation to the dress code. That's not something that you should be pointing out. That's self-expression. I understand if you're wearing booty shorts that don't, like, go with the, I think it's the arm, if it doesn't fit that, that's dress code. That can, no, like, I'm not fighting against that. That's the code, that's the rules, follow that, that's dress code. You can totally call them out for that. But
If I just wanted to address a couple of things because the principal Alfregola is, I don't know if you've been to any of the PTSA meetings or any of her coffee talks. She is very open and transparent about what's going on. And so I was at the PTSA meeting on Monday, I think it was. And so she addressed, the situation and acknowledged that there's obviously, as Dr. Kami said, there's room for improvement. So I think when you have a school of 1,600 approximately kids that you've got to evacuate, I think in the fact that they were able to evacuate kids, yes, some kids were cold. I have 2 daughters there, one of them who got onto a bus, one of them who didn't. These things happen, but no one was injured, and evacuating a school with that many kids and on top of that staff, I think they deserve to be commended for that. Yes, there's room for improvement. And she addressed that. So if there's a coffee talk on Saturday, if you want to go raise those questions with her. And with respect to the dress code, again, she's got a student council that is addressing those issues related to students' concerns about the dress code. So there are opportunities for student input that you may want to consider looking into if you've got some thoughts that you want to share. My understanding and my belief from listening to her speak is she's very open to suggestions from parents, from community members and students. So I would encourage you to take advantage of that. So.
I feel like that's kind of all that's being said. No one really points out how there's going to be improvement.
Well, I mean, Dr. Kami said,
That's why we're having a post-review conference.
right,
To talk about.
yeah. So,
I was sorry, I don't know if this is really your okay, but how would I join this?
that I don't know. That you,
Go to the main office and
Yeah.
ask Mrs. Conroy.
okay, thank you. Okay, seeing no one else at the microphone. Ooh, she's reading my mind. I need a motion to adjourn.
I just moved.
Moved by Mrs. Reed,
Second.
seconded by everyone else. We'll say Mrs. O'Hagan. All those in favor?
Aye.
Have a good night, everyone.